So the governments of the world is a reptilian archonic front, and they have known about the phenomena of UFOs since the beginning of time. And we can't really trust them because, ever since the 1940s, they had the treaty or the agreement periods of post World War II. They haven't really kept it a secret to protect us. They have kept it as secret to maintain or protect their monopoly on the technology and the narrative. So the technology that has been recovered from crashes such as Roswell or even ancient sites, it's not just hardware. It operates on levels that would essentially destroy or shatter the current power dynamic or the control paradigm. And the technology is things like free energy, anti-gravity, and matter transmutation and psychic interfacing. And if they release this, or if this came into our consciousness and we've actually discovered this, then it would end oil, finance, and war. Kind of these industries. It would end them just overnight, just like that. So it would pretty much collapse the control system, So they have reversed engineered it in secret. And so they have created things like microchips and lasers and stealth tech. And that's all that they've been able to get from the alien technology. Is those things. They've reversed engineered it. And they want to suppress the core truths of what would essentially liberate humanity. So why are they disclosing now? Why is this going on now? And the problem is that the veil, we've heard this from people before, that the veil is thinning, right? And the veil is failing and is thinning. And people like us, people like you, have probably noticed, the UFOs. Millions have phones, And so this is like a natural, organic awakening that's going on of star seeds and everyone who's sensitive. And so this is creating something that the government can't really stamp out. They can't really stop it. But they're trying. So they're trying to control the narrative. And that's what's happening with the current president. He and the factions behind him, the military-industrial complex and the deep state, which are just different masks for the archonic and the reptilians. They're not good guys revealing truth. They're not revealing truth. It's a script. It's a scripted reveal. It's nothing groundbreaking, And what they're trying to do is they will present it. It will be militarized, okay? It will be militarized. And UFOs and UAPs and all of this will be framed as a national security threat. And, you can hear it on the language, like violating our airspace or, potential adversaries or adversaries. And this is kind of sets the stage for like a space war, and for like a new global military alliance because of this so-called alien threat, okay? And they will also externalize it. So they will present the whole phenomenon as them versus us. So they will say that these are unknown, possibly evil or destructive or hostile beings like Zeta or, somewhere out there. And they're going to pretty much ignore all the interdimensional sort of spiritual and consciousness based nature of these beings. And it also ignores the fact that many of them have already been here and have been here for millennia. They've been here for a long time. And it will turn technocratic. Okay, this disclosure will turn technocratic. So the focus will be on the craft and the physics. That's what they're going to focus on. And they will never disclose the consciousness aspect of the technology. The soul agreements, the spiritual purpose, the loosh farming going on, or, the starseed missions. And they're trying to keep humanity thinking like consumers and like soldiers instead of actual sovereign spiritual beings. And it will be used to consolidate power because they will manufacture it as an alien threat. And in populations, we, or a lot of people, might happily just surrender their freedoms and accept surveillance and will basically unite under a global authoritarian kind of surveillance state and believe it's government protection. And this is the false flag. And Project Bluebeam was like a metaphor for this, So the current president, he is a chaos agent, so Archon reptilian type, and he's trying to grab attention. And they're collecting loosh off of all of your fears and emotions, and they have this controversial figure, and he is putting out little by little, he's putting out information. Okay, bits of info. So lots of people are debating, and it's a huge distraction. And while we're debating and while we're distracted, the deep state is building a legal, the legal and military infrastructure for the new sort of paradigm that's going on. So he's not a truth teller at all. And for all of us who are sensing this, and for star seeds, you're a star seed, a sensitive being, and you are sensing these things. And you are sensing that these UFOs, they're not your enemy. They are here to observe and to guide us. A lot of the time they come down here to visit, to bring us certain frequencies or energy or codes and things like that to help us awaken. And, you have the Pleiadians and Arcturians, and they operate under non-interference directives. They're not here to interfere. They come by, and this is cosmic law, okay? Cosmic law and human free will, they will not openly intervene, okay? Unless the planetary consciousness calls for that. But the US military, they have tried to shoot them down, and they've failed because these crafts can actually disintegrate missiles mid-air, okay? These crafts, these UFOs can disintegrate missiles mid-air. The government can't shoot them down. Or they face out of reality. So it just, the missile will just go right through. Or they just shut down the electronics of the jets that are trying to attack them, right? And like the recent objects over North America, that you have seen, lots of videos are coming out, people seeing UFOs. But there's actually a lot of UFOs that we see that are human-made, kind of reversed engineered prototypes, weather balloons and drones. And they're also a part of the theater, to confuse. And they make it seem, they use those. Sometimes the government, they might actually take a drone, fly it up so people see it, and shoot the drone down, and it's their own drone. And they will tell people that this was a UFO. And now we have their technology, right? And the thing is that real UFOs are untouchable by weapons. You cannot actually get to them. They're protected by consciousness fields, and the government knows that. And their shooting narrative, shooting them down, is just a narrative for the public to make you believe that the government is protecting you. So the UFOs, they typically operate on a completely different consciousness level. That's why some people, you might have heard, they've been meditating and they have landed on a frequency that has attracted UFOs, and they've seen UFOs because of their frequency. We can communicate with them through frequencies. And sometimes UFOs are here to drop code, to send out a frequency to guide us, to awaken us. In fact, that's what they're doing mostly, because they're not here to interfere. And they're following very strict cosmic laws about nonviolence, because violence is an archaic thing. This is a reptilian and archon type of phenomenon. Violence is not a part of UFOs and Arcturians and Pleiadians and all of these star seeds and all these aliens and UFOs. Violence is not a part of their consciousness. It has nothing to do with them. It's purely reptilian, archonic phenomena. So you have to reject the threat narrative. Okay, there is no threat. Government is the threat. Okay, it's like a psyop, basically. And you have to seek consciousness, truth. Look past just the craft itself. And ask more, what does this say about consciousness, or about my soul, or what is happening inside people through meditation or downloads or direct experience? People are experiencing these UFOs personally, and it's not malicious. It's not, they feel the energy, right? And you have to hold a frequency, okay? So do not give power to the government, thinking they're the savior, okay? You have to have a vibration of love and peace and sovereign awareness that is untouchable by this archonic reptilian control. And you have to understand the end game here, which is the control system. They want to co-opt the spiritual awakening, the Great Awakening. And they want to turn it to like a political military movement that serves them. So they want to be the ones who to introduce you to your star family, okay? But only after they painted them as enemies. So it's interesting also about, the Spielberg film that's come out, or coming out. I'm not even sure if it's out, but it's Disclosure Day, right? And it's also like this control narrative thing. And I'm not going to go too much into that, but it's also a narrative that you have to be aware of. And they're normalizing extraterrestrials without actually defining the relationship. So, they make it really nice and stuff. They just say they're nice, right? And it's true that UFOs are nice, but contact to them is more about communication and not integration. Because UFOs, your goal is to share your soul in a way. And usually in these movies, it places the government as the necessary communicators. Although UFOs, they want to communicate with us. Arcturians, Pleiadians, they want to communicate with you personally. Send frequencies to you, codes to unlock your DNA, all of this. That's the goal of the UFOs. But these movies are presenting it as the government should do the communication and not you. Okay? And they put the government as the common person, and especially the military. You see in the movie that the military prepares landing bases, all this stuff, right? And they want to strengthen the authoritarian state. So Pleiadians and Arcturians, they're monitoring the awakening. They are sending frequency updates to us and sometimes even healing the Earth grid. Andromedans and other ones they're gathering intelligence on the control systems. And they're like the true neutral scientists. Greys are typically bad. But some of them are only observing. But do not trust the Greys, though. Some of them are observing, some of them are doing more nefarious things, and the Greys are working with reptilians and archons. But some of them are observing. But don't trust them. So the cosmic laws, because you see UFOs have never attacked anyone. They don't attack. And because the cosmic law says that direct, aggressive intervention violates free will and spiritual development protocols, okay? So that is a cosmic law, and it's not their mission. Their mission is observation, assistance, and sometimes protection from other malicious kind of sources. And like I said earlier, they are beyond all of these kinds of concepts, okay? Violence is archaic. It's a low vibration concept. It's reptilian. It's archonic, okay? And the UFOs, Arcturians, Pleiadians, all of these, they're operating on cooperation and consciousness. And that is why also their technology is very different from what the government is trying to make it to be. They have consciousness technology, and it's technology that would greatly benefit our awakening. And the government, they want to try to hide it. Okay, so this whole thing going on with the disclosure, you have to see through it. You have to see through the entire stage, okay? It's a stage, the whole plan, the whole thing. It's just, you have to see through it. So, you have to explore your own exploration. You have to have your own exploration, sovereign exploration, and prepare your mind, because the threat narrative will grow. So be safe out there. Bless you all, and wish you a wonderful day, night, wherever you may be.